Hello everyone, how's everybody doing? Happy Halloween, by the way. I hope you're having a wonderful, exciting, dark, dreadful, drab time with all your loved ones and family. A lot of you might not remember me. I went by, or I still go by, Kitty Sapphire. Yes, I am back. How's everybody doing? I know it's been an extremely long time. I miss you guys. I miss doing this. Because of the wonderful holiday occasion, I thought it would be nice to do something a little bit different since why I've been gone for quite some time. But for tonight, I thought it would be nice to showcase some of the new artwork that I've done, especially for this wonderful Halloween season, and talk about more of my Halloween memories. Still feeling a little homesick, but also while I basically travel and continue creating on this side of the train tracks or this plane of existence, my mind has basically went down memory lane. And I just wanted to share some of the experiences, some of the childhood wonderment that I had with this wonderful holiday. For those who personally know me, they know how much I love this holiday. The creepy crawlies, well, not so much the creepy crawly aspect of it. It's more whimsical and magical and the more fantastical supernatural things that happen during this time. Also, it is a signifier for series of holiday. If you haven't noticed, or for some that do celebrate Halloween, this is the start of a fleet of holidays, because you have Thanksgiving afterwards, or Dia de los Muertos. I'm sorry if I butchered the name, but that happens after Halloween. You have Thanksgiving, you have some other holidays, you have Hanukkah and Yule and all these other wonderful holidays, including Christmas, and then later on New Year's, and then there's other holidays in between. It's just that Halloween, at least for me, kicks off a wonderful series of good feelings, good food, and spending time with family, and just telling really wacky and crazy and wonderful mythological stories, which anybody who knows me as well knows that I love mythology. I love stories of ancient times past. That's also why I play a little D&D, which, if you guys really like this type of storytelling, or if you want to see more of this, of me doing commentary or just talking about random stuff over some of my speed paints, please let me know at the comments below. So it's just that this part of the holidays, or the start of the holidays, is really important to me. It's sort of like, it got me a little nostalgic, and I wanted to share some of my wonderful memories of this holiday when I was little. We can get started. When I was little, Halloween was really big in my house, especially the fact a lot of these memories are the ones that really stick out to me and keep the Halloween spirit alive, because as of lately, I noticed, like, as you get older, that whimsy, spiritual, magical aspect of Halloween is kind of lost a lot to a lot of people. I've actually ran into a couple of videos where people feel like they're not connected as much as for Halloween as much as they used to when they were a kid, and that makes me a little sad. That little slight aspect of it has got me reminiscing about a lot of the memories that I used to have. One of the experiences that I had as a kid was my aunt would throw these magnificent, huge Halloween parties. She used to own a bakery, and she also had, I think she owned a pool house as well, because I remember the rec center that was in the area by her apartments, they used to throw these humongous parties, these Christmas parties, these holiday parties, and especially these Halloween parties. My parents, and I think I was around like 4 or 5 years old when I used to participate in these, and of course to a 4 and 5-year-old, a rec center or a pool house would be extremely huge. With my particular viewpoint, this place was ridiculous ridiculously huge. They had lights with various colors of fall, like orange and red and yellows dancing in the windows, and they had like witches and jack-o'-lanterns all over the windows, like this big silhouettes. And of course the pool would be closed at this point in time, and my parents, who at the time they lived more so in the city versus some of the other memories that I will share with you, is a little bit more when I moved out of the city and more into, would say, more suburban areas. So my parents took me to my aunt's Halloween parties, and there was such a large amount of people there. They had trays upon trays of various treats, cookies, candies, brownies, all these like really big sweet baked goods. They had a DJ up on the stage. Kids could go up there and basically dance on the stage, and of course you had the parents and the kids together. Some of the parents would sit in these the metal folding chairs, and they would they would talk, and while the kids would run around. At this point in time, when I was little, I was dressed up as a cat in a pumpkin. So I had the top of my half was like a little cat, and then in some of the old cartoons where they had barrel around them when they're like poor or something like that, and they had no clothes, so they would run around in a barrel. That's how the pumpkin was. My mom did my makeup at the time. I got a chance to be in the spotlight when the DJs thought my costume was really cute, and that was the most biggest embarrassing. Well, I liked the attention, but it also was the most embarrassing thing ever, because of the fact that here I am just trying to get maybe a cookie or a muffin, and here I am in the spotlight, people admiring my costume. It was hilarious, but it was like the most embarrassing thing ever. But we stayed out there until late. I danced and had treats until I was tired. I believe there were a couple of games as well. They had bobbing for apples. It was great. It was really, really great. And that was like one of my cherished memories of Halloween. It's just, I have quite a few of them actually, but that was one of my bigger ones because, and may I mind you, throughout this whole entire conversation, it's really hard to kind of pick which memory, because now as I'm talking about this, I'm starting to remember other things when I was little, of all the things that we used to do for Halloween. And I was in an environment or a place where also Halloween was very big. So that one really stuck out when I was little, and it was just a lot of fun. I got a chance to see some of my family, and my family was great, and it was just fun to have that little bit of memory in that regard. Oh, another Halloween party. I think I was a little older at that point. This is when I was, I believe, 6 or 7 years old. My favorite costume when I was little was I dressed up as Storm from the 90s X-Men cartoon. When I was little, I was obsessed. I was obsessed with Storm. She's such an elegant woman. She was so powerful and wonderful. So in this Halloween party that I went to, and we were still in the city at the time, it was a X-Men Halloween party. So everybody was dressed up as one of the members from the X-Men. You had Cyclops, you had Wolverine, you had Rogue. Of course, I was Storm. And it was just us running around, enjoying ourselves. We had games. And the game that I basically won that night, that basically just lit up my whole entire night, was Pin the Badge on the X-Men. Oh my goodness, they still play Pin the Tail on the Donkey, but this was an equivalent to something like that. Since 90s X-Men was so popular back in the day, instead of Pin the Tail on the Donkey, they had Pin the Badge on the X-Men. And it was a picture of Cyclops, and you had to pin the badge on the X-Men, and it was funny. We were spun around and we had to pin the badge, and I must admit my bandana did slip, I think, as far as I remember, and I didn't want to cheat, so I closed my eyes and I managed to pin the button. It wasn't perfect, but I managed to pin the button on Cyclops, and everybody was so excited and happy, and it was great. And I won like a little figurine and as a prize and a bag of candy. It was great. I'm starting to think that it wasn't just a Halloween. I think it was also a birthday, but I am not entirely sure. It was so long ago, but that was one of the few Halloweens that I really appreciate, since Storm is my favorite character. And at that time, I was also with my cousin. That point in time, me and my cousin were inseparable. So we did a lot of things together. I mentioned that these are 2 memories from when I used to live in the city. Now, things changed when I moved out of the city. Me and my family moved to the city, and at that time, I had my my siblings. So my siblings just recently came into the picture. Certain traditions started to arise once we got out of the city. My mom in general is just she likes to throw parties a lot, and that was technically her job. When she did all these Halloween events, she did it real big. All these holidays, just magical and whimsical. My mom would have like these long, it looked like cotton or stretched out cotton balls, and she put it in my window, and there were lighting bats, purple bats that would hang in the window along with the cobwebs, and you had like jack-o'-lantern pictures set in my window, and then we had a jack-o'-lantern right in the front, which just basically light up the block. Pretty much like everyone else, we would do trick-or-treating. My aunts and my cousins would come by, and it would be a whole huge event. Kids of our age group would come over and that lived in the area or that were still in the city, and they made a trip all the way up here, and we would turn on the TV. My father would turn on the TV for us, and we would watch like Disney Halloween movies such as Hocus Pocus, Don't Look Under the Bed, Halloween Town, Mom's Date with a Vampire. But Hocus Pocus was the biggest thing. My father wasn't a huge fan of Halloween because of his background, but he still liked participating with us because he liked being there and just like having fun. He was like the biggest big kid ever. Before we went out to trick-or-treat, my mom would always make fried chicken, baked chicken, Spanish peas and rice, and a salad. Something quick and easy to make, so we had something to eat before we actually went out. Because her biggest thing was she didn't want us to leave the house and we're starving, we're hungry, and we have to stop in the middle of trick-or-treating to go back inside and get something to eat. So instead, she made something quick and easy, which, by the way, this is also a tradition on my end that I try to emulate every year, that I try to make fried chicken or barbecue chicken something quick and easy. If we do have trick-or-treaters or anybody coming by the house, it's a wonderful tradition. I used to also watch a lot of Practical Magic. Practical Magic was also one of my favorite. That's where my love for like more whimsical, slightly spooky situations come from, because of the fact that I'm not really big into horror. We're into, me and my mom share a lot of interests such as like supernatural stories and stuff like that. And then my father, mythology fan, so he likes Greek mythology, Rome mythology, and definitely Norse mythology. There were times where we actually went to my grandmother's, who was across the way, and we would go to her house and watch Hocus Pocus and entertain ourselves with our uncles. They're old traditional Italian family, so it's like we would eat over there as well, and it was just fun. It's just wonderful to be around, and just having my father and my uncle and my uncles take us out to trick-or-treating house by house, and just seeing the leaves fall and full moon and what have you. It was great. So those were some of the traditions that I have, and I have video does well. And if you guys really like this, I will continue sharing some bits and pieces, a little bit of my background and some of the stories and some of the experiences that I have, my life in general, if you guys are interested in this. 1 year or two, I dressed up as Ash Ketchum. Ash Ketchum, I basically dressed up for Halloween, for 2 Halloweens in a row. I had a big giant Pikachu plush. It was just funny. I really enjoyed myself. We went to a couple of houses on the block. There was this one big old house on the hill. Of course, it always has to be a house on the hill, isn't it? If you haven't noticed, some of the pranks in Halloween or some of the tricks that are pulled is you have a person sitting in a chair or sitting somewhere or standing somewhere extremely still, giving the illusion that they are a decoration. On this house on the hill, there was a pathway, and in order to get to the candy, you had to pass the decorations in order to get to the candy. My siblings, my younger siblings, they were too scared, and they were dressed up as Blue's Clues, by the way, which I thought it was the most adorable thing ever. That you have these two little girls that are dressed up in Blue's Clues costume, and they're like shaking and clinging on to my father, and here I am trying to think of a way to get around this, because I am not entirely sure if this decoration is real or not. That I was getting too close to the candy, and the guy comes up and I threw my Pikachu doll at him, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, yeah, like, totally get away from me. It was hilarious at the time, using poor Pikachu to use his Thunder Shock to the person who was doing the prank. It was very embarrassing. I felt really bad afterwards. It's just I don't do very well in scared situations. I really don't. A little thing about my experiences during trick-or-treating: I'm not a candy person. I'm not big on sweets, like, at all. My Halloween candy, which, may I mind you, I always adored my Halloween basket, because it was a soft plush basket, and it was a jack-o'-lantern. I would bring home and I would let my parents go through it and eat it. And a lot of them would go for like specific candies and stuff like that. And I would just give it to the family, whoever wanted it, because I just enjoyed Halloween for the costumes, for the atmosphere, and just the feel of trick-or-treating. Enjoying of the experiences and more of the fun aspects of being around other kids that had similar interests, especially the fact that I didn't really have a lot of friends at the time. So it was nice. And then also it got me a chance to be with my family for a bit. These are the memories that keep me going during the Halloween, throughout the whole entire spooky month, and the actually Halloween day, which, again, like I said, as I go over this, I keep remembering that there's so many other memories that I have, and hopefully later on I'll be able to share it with you whenever I get a chance. I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble about my love for Halloween and the wonderful memories that the holiday carries. And it gives me a chance to appreciate all that I've done during Halloween years past, but also gives me some hope for the future of what I can do to make my little hovel more spooky and Halloweenish each time. Heck, this year I managed to buy a couple of new decorations, a couple of lanterns, and a witch's broom, which looks fabulous. Oh my goodness, it looks so beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. Just wanted to add bits and pieces similar to how my mom did all those years ago. But thank you guys so much for staying and hearing me ramble on about Halloween, my love for Halloween. If you guys want to hear more of these types of videos, please let me know at the bottom comment section and give me input of what you guys think and what you guys would like for me to talk about. If you want to support my channel and make sure it grows and make sure that there's a more steady flow of content, artwork, possible plans, dreams, goals, all that good stuff to be shared with my fellow nerds. This has been a wonderful chat with you guys, and thank you so much for everything. Share, like, comment, talk to your friends. I want to hear more about your Halloweeny memories. What was it like for you? Did you celebrate Halloween? Did you not celebrate Halloween? Is it something different? Is it a different name for you in your culture? Unfortunately, maybe you don't like Halloween. Hey, I would love to hear every single aspect of what you guys feel, how you guys feel about this holiday. So, this has been Kitty Sapphire, and I hope you guys have a wonderful spooky night. And I'll see you guys later. Toodles. Bye.